So the first motion was to remove Section 1 and use 2 as Section 1.
And it was a second.
Yes, Mr. Raphael.
Does Mr. Berry still want to stay with us?
Yeah,
Motion.
I will for right
Okay.
now.
Let's go ahead and vote on that one.
Okay. Everybody clear on the motion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion passes. Second motion we have on the table.
Ms. Pownall said all city-owned meters.
Okay.
Ms. Ballance seconded.
That would have to be remade because it was superseded by the previous motion. It would have been an illegal motion at that point. So you have to make the motion again if you really want to vote on it.
Mr. Pownall, do you want to restate your motion again, please, sir?
I move that we allow that Section 1 read free 2-hour parking is established at all city-owned metered spaces in Eureka Springs during the period of December 1st to December 31st, 2012.
It's for 2 hours. Everybody understand the motion? Is there a second?
Please read.
So basically, excuse me, did you just take out on Spring and Main
I
Streets?
took out Spring and Main Street and put all city-owned metered spaces in Eureka Springs.
Well, so you just took out Spring and Main Street.
Yes.
Okay. Was there a second?
Second.
All right. Made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now we have to vote in on this whole resolution. Mr. Pownall.
And I'm sorry I missed the number. Move we approve resolution number
602.
602 as amended.
A second?
Second.
Made and seconded.
Roll call.
Okay. Got one more to go. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Ballance?
Yes.
Mr. Pownall?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes.
Mr. Raphael?
Yes.
Ms. Lindblad?
Yes.
5-0.
Thank you. Moving on to number 5 will be the discussion of the auditorium heating resolution.
Move to discuss.
Second.
Man seconded, the floor is open. Diane, can you kind of give a brief on this one?
I sent this out last week. Did everybody receive my email with these resolutions? Okay. You did it, Wayne?
I did.
Okay. Just to give you an update on this construction work that needs to be taken care of, we have no heating in the audit. The audit is heated by 2 heating coil units, and one of them failed late last fall, and the other one failed this past late spring. And we've had 4 people come out and, 3 people came out and look at it. And Airworks is the only one that would give us a bid on it. And I sent you all the paperwork with all the discussion I had with the contractors regarding this issue. Do you have any questions regarding it?
The reason it's coming in now is we tried to do all of this with green money, green grant money, and some of it was just not qualified. Is that correct?
No, we came in too late.
Or too late, okay. Because
They couldn't
that's the way
reallocate
it
it in
happened,
time.
yeah.
And to put a new heating unit in it, it would cost up to $125,000 to $150,000 to replace the existing. The contractor believes that fixing these heating coil units, it would give life to the existing ones for another 10 years plus.
That's no money.
I don't have any questions. I have information, however. I called and talked to Mr. Bob Miller today, and yes, if we put these 2 coils in, it could extend it for 10 years. But basically what he said was that, first of all, his company did not check out the entire system. And so he doesn't know if putting these 2 heating coils in for $12,000 is going to make the system down there work, or if it isn't. He said that the system we've got is 22 years old, that their life expectancy is 15 years, that it was put in 1990. I've got notes all over the place. He said that it doesn't mean, if we put those in and we spend that money, it doesn't mean that something else in the system isn't going to go. The boiler hasn't been checked out. The boiler has a coil in it. He said all he was told was that the heating coils were leaking, and so how much would it cost to put the heating coils back in? He said, you know, this is such an old system that who knows, and what he suggested was that we have his company or another company, and this is an industrial system, so it's not a system that just anybody can work on. And that what he suggested we do is spend $1,000, approximately between $500 and $1,000, and have either his company or a company that's qualified come in and check out the entire system and see where we're at right now. You know, to me, this is like I've got a 1988 Toyota truck, and it's like me putting a new tailpipe on my truck and then expecting that my truck's going to run forever. We have no idea what's going on with the rest of it. And he said that if we did decide to go ahead and put in a new system, that there were rebates and things that we could get from whatever. I'm assuming it's SWEPCO that services the auditorium. But whatever the electric, he said a lot of the electric companies and the utility companies give rebates back because you're putting in a more efficient system. But he said we don't know if the evaporator coil is going to go. You know, I couldn't even write down as fast as I tried all the other parts that he said could go out on this system. And I think it would be, before we proceed forward to spend $12,000, I think that it would behoove us to have his company or another company, but a company that works on industrial things like this, come in and check out the entire system and let us know where it's at. Because the boiler could be leaking. There could be a lot of other things going on in this system. So, and you know, my father owned a construction company. He was an architect, and one thing that he always told me was, if you do something right the first time, it saves you a lot of money. And it just might be that we're going to have to bite the bullet and replace this system. And it may be that we don't have to replace the whole system. The ducts that we've got in may work fine with another system, but I really think we should see where it's at before we go spending amounts of money on it that we're not sure that it's not going to kick out another part of the system or another part of the system is going or gone. So I make a motion that we proceed forward by hiring, what's the company name? Sorry, wait a minute. It's in here somewhere. The MCC Airworks to come in and do a thorough evaluation of our entire heating and cooling system in the auditorium and let us know where it's at, which would cost us anywhere from $500 to $1,000.
I would second that.
Did you have something else?
Yes, I want to say what Karen said is correct. There might be other issues that came up with this, but he's the one that suggested in doing this, and he's the one that suggested that, you know, the 10 years, that it would be good to go for another 10 years. Of course, you can't guarantee things for forever, you know, but this was his suggestion that he came. The company came out and looked at it twice for me. And the boiler does get inspected by the state every single year. We get a certificate saying that, you know, it passes inspection. but it is an old boiler too, so there could possibly be things that we don't know about. But I just want to say that they came out and they did inspect it twice, and this is what their recommendation he gave me about how to fix our problem without spending $150,000 to replace the whole system, even with rebates and stuff like that. And he told the mayor's office this is the best option and it should be fine. So that's what I brought to the table.
Mr. Barry?
You know, what Ms. Lindblad is saying is correct, but what she's probably also not aware of is that this is not, we've had another company come out and look at this, a guy named Jim Bradford with Train. Train is one of the largest HVAC companies in the world. He came over about a year ago, I think, and I thought he gave us a report. Now, he may not have, but his recommendation at that time, because he went through and did the inspection, was that to go ahead and need, because of the leaking of the coil units, and he looked through the boiler units, and he said basically the same thing. Of course, there's no guarantee, but they are inspected, and that his recommendation also was at that point was replacing the heating and the coil units because of the leaks. So to me, we've got two people with the same recommendations. If we wait around, I mean, we're going to need to do this sooner or later, and this is something I think we need to go ahead and do right now and get it over with.
Any further? Ms. Lindblad?
Well, the man, when I talked to him, that's not the impression that he gave me, and he said that also they had no idea whether this system had been serviced, that it needed to be serviced twice a year, that certain chemicals needed to be used to clean things out, and if that wasn't done, there could be other parts of the system that are going to go. And at this point, it's not freezing out yet, and I just don't see where, since these are heating coils, where it would hurt us to have someone come out and go over the whole system and let us know what's going on the whole thing before we proceed forward to spend more money than we're talking about spending right now.
Apologize for falling asleep at the wheel, but I make a motion that we assign a number and read this for discussion that we've already had.
We already have a motion.
Discuss it.
Okay. For a second?
Second.
Okay.
We already have a motion.
Yes, we already have a motion to hire MCC Airworks.
Okay. The motion is to hire MCC Airworks to come in, do an evaluation.
Order.
Yes, sir?
I believe the item on the agenda was discussion of the resolution, and we haven't even heard or read to the public the resolution. Didn't know what we're talking about.
You're absolutely right, sir. Okay. That motion precedes this motion with a second. All in favor of assigning a number to it and reading it for discussion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Who was the second, please?
I was.
Mr. Barry.
Thank you. Okay, I realized just a moment ago that on the parking meter resolution, I gave you the wrong number. It needed to be 603. My apology.
Eli says with the witness.
Let's go ahead and change that.
This one needs to be
This one's 604.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt the discussion.
Resolution making a 2012 budget adjustment, whereas the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas has determined that the 2012 fiscal budget should be amended. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, Section 1, that the following line items be increased by council request. Auditorium capital expense line item 12-00-5811 to be increased by $15,000 for replacing heat coil units and 2 carrier air handlers in the auditorium. Section 2, that the funds shall be allocated from the general fund capital. Section 3, that the Upon passage of this resolution, all changes will be entered into the Main Street Accounting Program and General Ledger.
Any further discussion on it? All in favor, say aye.
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 Mr. Pownall, I'm sorry. You had your hand up.
I just had a question as far as what the balance of the capital equipment fund was that we're taking this out of.
I don't know right now. I don't have that information here.
So we're still discussing.
Do we need to vote on this one? As written? Or as read?
Well, I think you just took a vote.
To read the...
Read for discussion, yeah.
Or for
Took a
discussion.
vote after the reading. I'm not sure what you thought you were voting on,
We're not either.
Okay.
because you'd already read it.
No,
But
close
if you're
enough.
not, if that's not an approval vote, then you're still in
Okay,
discussion.
all right. That's an approval vote.
And
by
it
the
should,
first
if it was an approval vote, it should have been done by roll call.
Yeah, nobody called for more discussion, which probably should have happened.
You need to do it by roll call anyway.
vote. Okay. So we can do resolution.
So
Voice vote.
discussion is over, and
Discussion's over.
Is discussion over? We really didn't have
Okay.
discussion, did we?
The way I understand this, it's, we got a little ahead of ourselves and we didn't put the number on this thing first and vote to discuss. That preceded the second motion to have Ms. Lindblad, to have Mr. Miller come in with his company and look it over. So with that, we did it, we read it, so automatically it's approved because that's the way it was voted on. Is that correct?
it was to read for discussion.
It was
For
to read
discussion? Okay.
I believe.
All right.
That was,
And that's why we-
Pownall's motion.
Okay. So my vote, forget my vote, just the second one.
The second vote, I don't
Yeah.
think there was a motion for it unless it was to approve, and if it was to approve, it should have been roll call.
Okay, all right, and that's what we want to correct.
There was no motion
So
for the last vote.
it was just a vote taken on no issue.
Okay, my bad.
An X.
I'll buy that one.
Ooh-wee.
All right. Now it reverts back to the second motion,
Which was not a motion because it would have been out
out of order. Yes,
unless they want to remake it at this point.
okay. But we still have to do a roll call vote.
That was yours.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. I wanted to be sure.
Everybody's trying to get in a hurry.
It was out of order.
It was out of order because you hadn't discussed, read and discuss. You've now voted to read and discuss. You've now read it. So now the floor is open for discussion or further motion. So if she wants to make her motion again, the floor is open to make motions.
Then we finalize it with a roll call vote.
And then you finalize it with a roll call after any motions have been settled prior to the approval motion.
Ms. Lindblad.
I move that we spend $500 to $1,000 and have the MCC Airworks come in and look at the entire system and check it all out and let us know where the entire system stands right now.
Is there a second?
Can you put a date on that, the time limit,
Yeah,
to have a report back to us within a month?
within a month, that would be good.
End of
Yes,
September.
that would be
And,
fine.
and where are we going to allocate the funds? Where are the funds going to come from?
Oh, I guess
Does it have to be approved by a resolution or something to appropriate
the
that money?
funds would come from the
She's,
capital,
Capital.
auditorium capital expenses. Should I reword the whole thing? I make a motion that we...
Wait, we've got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay, I'm
she's
sorry.
keeping up with you down here.
I've got the flu and I'm
Is
not...
it appropriate to take it from your
Sharpest.
capital funds because it's not a capital expenditure if you're not making a repair? It'd be
All
more
right,
likely to
then.
a general fund. I
General
believe.
fund.
Fund tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
So where's it coming from?
General fund.
Not capital. General fund capital was the initial 15,000 in the resolution as it was read. But your motion superseded that, and now that's where we're at now with your $1,000 fee to Mr. Miller?
It's a $1,000 estimate.
Thereabouts. All right. Any further? All right. Do you need the motion restated?
Yes, please.
Okay. Madam Clerk. That was a quick bus, wasn't it?
Oh, Lord. Ms. Lindblad made a motion to spend $500 to $1,000 to hire MCC Air Works to inspect the entire heat and air cooling system and let us know what the status of it is by the end of September and take the money from the general fund expenses.
Your second.
Correct?
Second.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. We'll do a roll call vote.
Discussion.
More discussion? Okay, go ahead.
I'd just like to clarify what general fund account that's going to come out of. I don't know if that'll affect the vote, but I'd like it in the record. Because we are going to have to pass a resolution doing the change to the budget.
Somebody want to make that?
No,
Well,
ask the
let's-
city attorney if I'm wrong, but I think we do
You're
need to
correct.
specify which fund and
I don't have
follow
my
it up
budget.
with the resolution.
If it's approved, you are going to have to amend the budget by resolution or ordinance. You'd simply be taking an action that can't be followed through until you actually budget the money.
Okay. So take it from general fund, I believe, was the last part of that motion, or at least part of that motion.
He wants something more specific.
Mr. Berry.
Call for the question.
Mr. Barry was looking for
But he's
that.
trying to find it right now, what it's going to come out of.
If I'm not mistaken, it's engineering that's coming to look at it, so it'd be professional services. Is that correct?
That'd be under the mayor's budget. Yeah.
Professional services, if I'm not mistaken.
It typically would be professional
Yeah,
services
it
other.
would be.
Engineering services. Any further
Professional
discussion?
services, other, but, so it's Department 10, is it?
Department 10, the mayor's office, yeah.
Now, you need to put $1,000 in there if there's not $1,000 in there technically before he spends it.
There's money available at this point.
Any further? Okay. Everybody understand the motion? There's a motion and a second. And we need a roll call vote on this. Is that correct?
Wouldn't hurt to do that.
Roll call, okay. Because it's,
You're
It's very-
directing an action.
yes. okay. We're going to do a roll call vote.
Mr. Raphael?
Yes.
Mr. Berry?
Yes.
Mr. Pownall?
Yes.
Ms. Ballance?
Yes.
Ms. Lindblad?
Yes.
5-0.
Nothing else on that one.
Okay, where are
At
we
this
then?
point, then you need to, you still have the resolution for the 15,000 that you need to push off until you get your results, or you need to act on one of the two. Otherwise, you're leaving an issue unresolved.
I move to post,
Point of
go ahead.
question.
Yes.
Did we not amend the resolution that was on the agenda with the recommendations?
That was
Very-
not the way it was stated, the way I understood it.
Okay.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I move that we table the resolution as presented.
Give you a date if you want officially.
as,
Postpone it or table it to a specific time.
First meeting in October?
You're going to have the engineering study back by the end of September, like first in October possibly, first meeting in October.
First meeting in October.
Is everybody clear on that one?
Can I just state that Airworks said that the price for $12,000 is only good till October the 1st. It might go up after that, just to give you.
Okay. He would extend it.
Everybody's going to say that.
Everybody understand where we're at now?
Second.
Be a roll call, correct?
Doesn't hurt.
Okay.
Do you object if I add the resolution number?
You
Mr.
added-
Pownall?
The resolution number should already be added, so it should be part of his motion, yes.
She wants to add the
Move to
resolution.
table
now to your
resolution
motion.
number 604.
604.
Thank you. All right. Doing a roll call?
Yes, sir. Put this in.
Dotting i's and crossing t's.
T's and crossing I's.
Okay. Ms. Ballance?
Yes.
Mr. Pownall?
Yes.
Mr. Raphael?
Yes.
Ms. Lindblad?
Yes.
Mr. Perry?
Yes.
5-0.
Moves us to number 6, discussion on electric trolley fund.
Move to discuss.
Second. Ms. Lindblad, second. Floor is open. Mr. Pennell.
I just have a question of what the Community Electric Trolley Association was and how they have the right to decide where city transit or otherwise money is going, and that it's already basically been spent. I'm just asking for clarification. I get this 2 letters in the mail. It says that we're dissolving the corporation and its affairs, and then they're forwarding money to the director of transit, and then I read something else where it's already been spent because there's work being done. If that's not correct, I stand corrected.
I believe that was a private entity that had looked long-term into putting the electric trolleys back in downtown Eureka Springs, up Spring Street and on Main Street. Apparently it was Steve and his wife, Steve Miller and his wife, that headed this organization, and I guess they didn't feel like it was going anywhere. I'm not sure all the details on it. And then they gave the $6,000 to the transit, and that's all I know about it. Yes, sir.
Well, I applaud their intent. It says, we're confident that this gift will be a benefit for the entire community. And then it talks about pending receipt of a signed contract between the transit department and CETA. Contract must specify a starting date and expected completion date, and these letters is the only time that this has been discussed. Is this another one of these we can't talk about or delve into departments?
Mr. Weaver.
I don't know anything about what this is. I saw the same letters, or at least one of the same letters, but I don't know. It was my understanding from what little I knew about it, was the same as the mayor's, that this was a private entity that was trying to do something and basically has decided to dissolve itself. But as to what reference has just been made by Mr. Pownall to transit and what they're doing with the funds or not doing with the funds, I don't know anything about.
Well, my question to the city attorney would be, is donation of private funds to an individual city department appropriate without coming through council, or should it not go into the general fund?
It's routinely done in various departments. Now, whether it's done properly here, I don't know. But it wasn't too long ago that we allowed the cemetery commission to stand at the mic and ask for donations. Money can be donated to various city entities or portions thereof. But whether it was done properly here, I don't know. No one had asked that question until now. If you want me to look into it or you want someone else to look into it, it may be appropriate to do that.
Yes, sir.
Just one clarification, the money's already been donated, the money's already been spent, and that work is already in progress, if not already done. I just wanted clarification, and I got what I didn't ask for. Thank you.
Any further? Nothing else, that moves us to agenda setting. Yes, sir.
I'd like to put an update of the zoning maps.
Move to discuss.
Move to discuss.
Move to discuss.
Second.
Made and seconded, go ahead.
I would like to put a update, have an update of the zoning map situation. The next meeting.
Anybody else? Was there a second on that one?
Second.
Second.
Okay. Ms. Lindblad?
I guess voting by word's still on here, so it's going to continue. That's what I wanted to put on.
Mr. Berry?
I believe the planning commission wanted the, be put on here something about, I don't know whether it was an ordinance that they were preparing or what about the sales at city festivals. I can't read, 4.48, 0.01.
Discussion of 4.48.
Yeah. Which is sales at
Thanks.
city festivals.
Okay. Anybody else?
We have a second?
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Second.
Yeah, well, I was going to have a second to get it on. Mr. Pownall?
Discussion on employee handbook update.
Second.
Anybody else? I've got one. We need to get a resolution on the ballot for the professional service bond for fire EMS. They have to have their company requires a resolution so we can get our professional service bond for EMS taken care of.
Are you talking about for the election in November?
No. It's just a resolution. Yeah. No, that's not going to happen. This is just a resolution that the insurance company that's going to provide the bond needs from the city council. It's just part of their protocol. So that'll be on the next, we'll give you all the details. For fire EMS, it's professional service bond. It's our endless contract requires it. And that's what we've been trying to get ironed out, trying to get somebody to get it done. Well, Mr. McClung, Chris McClung is the one working on it. He's the one that called me and said we need this resolution. Yes, sir.
They haven't required a resolution on the other bonds for city employees. Why is it because it's countywide?
The contract calls for the professional service bond. We knew that was going to be part of it when we entered into the contract. It's just a matter of housekeeping, basically. So we need that one on there. Anybody else? If not, those will be the items on the agenda. Next coming up is city council comments. Ms. Ballance, you're up.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Berry? Mr. Vito's out. Ms. Lindblad?
Yes, I would like to mention, and unfortunately, I'm sorry, but I didn't have the time today to get the dates, but somewhere between the 15th and the 22nd of September, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, Delphi Marsalis, Bradford and Winton's brother, is coming to Eureka Springs with a jazz band. They're going to perform in the Auditorium. And this is going to be top-rate, top-drawer jazz. I mean, the Marsalis family is absolutely renowned and famed for their jazz. You can buy tickets at the Auditorium. I think it's at the Auditorium website. They're discounted if you buy them ahead of time, or if you buy them the night at the door. I think they're like $20. They're $15 online, and this is a real opportunity for people in Eureka Springs to see some really, really top-notch people. And at the next meeting, I will absolutely have the date. But it's there on the website, and I think it's something that I'm a huge jazz fan myself, and this is top-notch, world-class jazz that we're going to be having in the Auditorium.
Thank you. Mr. Pownall?
Nothing.
Mr. Raphael?
Nothing.
Okay. I need to go back and put one more agenda on one more item on the agenda. I'm sorry, I negated that. There'll be discussion of the money that the cemetery commission is sitting on the CDs they have in the bank. So we'll put that one on there. With that, let me start off by saying that the mayor's office and the fire department and the building inspector and Mr. Dean Fanning went out and took care of the big, huge pine tree that was in the middle of the cemetery that was hit by lightning and did catch on fire. I paid for it out of my professional services accounts. But there's also a couple of trees out there that still need to be addressed, actually 4 of them that we may try to get involved in the discussion in the cemetery issue. List of events is August the 29th, September the 1st is a banjo rally. August the 31st, September the 2nd, Holly Allen Art Show at the barn. September the 7th and 8th is Antique Auto Fest. September the 7th through the 8th is the Wood Carvers Festival at Pine Mountain. September the 8th, Bank Robbery Play between 12 and 12:30 on Upper Spring. September the 8th, the second Saturday Gallery Stroll. And city offices will be closed on Monday, September the 3rd for Labor Day. As far as my comments, I just have 2, and that is we're asking everybody to get out and register to vote that have not, and vote when it comes time. Thank you very much. Motion to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.